You have just tuned into the Drop Zone. Drop Zone.
With your host, Felicia Shaw, owner and CEO of The Support Room, and David Wilborn, owner and CEO of D&L Security. Hunker down and get ready for a great drop.
Hey, everybody. I am so excited to be here with you all today. You are now tuned in to the Drop Zone, We are so happy to be able to see another day. As we always say, this really is the day that the Lord has made. Go ahead and rejoice, have yourself a good time, and be glad in it. Listen, today is going to be a fantastic show. The topic of today's show is winning with diabetes. I don't know about you, but almost everybody knows somebody that has diabetes, that struggle with it, or that's living with it, or has even passed away from it. We are going to dispel some myths, and we're going to give you some news you can use. I'm going to be sharing an exclusive part of my story with you guys, and I just really need you guys to go ahead and share. I will be sharing portions of my testimony, but before we get into the show, let's go ahead and take care of some things that we always take care of. We got some dates on the calendar. My partner's going to let us know what's forthcoming.
So you just not going to introduce him? You just going to...
Hey, y'all, his name is Mr. Ooh, yeah.
You done messed up,
Mr. Ooh, yeah, himself, Dave Wilbur.
You done messed it up.
Hey, guys, I'm not used to sitting in the seat of the interviewee. I'm normally the interviewer, so we're wearing double hats today. My partner's going to be wearing a few hats today. But let me backtrack. Sitting to the left of me is my partner, the one and only, my homie. Listen, he helps me hold it down every single Wednesday. It's Mr. Ooh Yeah himself. What's happening, Dave?
Ooh yeah, what's happening? We got to get it right now. We got to do it right.
He always, y'all know he's a comedian, and also he's a performer and a singer. He's really a performer.
Was that like a little smack to the art?
I support you. I support you, man.
I'm a performer.
Ooh, I support you, man. I got you. I got your back. What's been going on with you? How things going?
Oh man, nothing much. Everything is everything. Before we get started, just want to shoot some love to Texas.
Absolutely.
To the families that lost their babies.
Absolutely.
To a very evil and hatred act. We wasn't even over the New York situation yet.
Yeah.
Until someone decided to take a gun and go and kill some kids. So we still need much prayer. We still need much prayer in this world.
Much prayer.
I don't even know how people even could say take prayer out of schools, Yeah. But we need it. So we just want to give love. Our prayers are with the families. From my understanding, some parents still waiting on that phone call.
Yeah.
So our prayers are definitely with you, the state of Texas, and the school and the teachers and everything. God bless you. We're praying for you on the drop zone.
Absolutely.
All right. So with that being said, how you been doing?
Man, I'm doing good. That's doing good. Every day above ground is a good day.
Yeah. Listen, we got a great show planned for our people today, right?
Absolutely. It's going to be power-packed with knowledge.
Yes. So tell somebody, share with somebody, the Drop Zone, the zone. So let's get in it. So listen, we got some things coming up. Listen, make sure you log on to dlsecurity.org. dlsecurity.org for upcoming CPL classes and basic self-defense classes. Listen, get into that basic self-defense class because it's coming. I'm telling you.
It's going to be phenomenal.
It's going to be fire. I think I'm doing one this Saturday. So make sure you log on to dlsecurity.org for upcoming CPL classes and also basic self-defense classes to check that out. Also, when you log on to dlsecurity.org, you're going to see something else that you can register for.
Yes.
The support room.
The support room.
Yeah.
The support room is that culmination of small support groups geared to help people cope with trauma. And we meet every Monday. At 6 o'clock. We have a little food for the people. Yeah. And they're able to come in and share according to the topic that's on the floor. We did coping with the loss of a loved one.
Which was great.
Which was awesome. Last week, our topic was to be dealing with and learning to manage the triggers caused by trauma. And we're going to redo that this coming Monday.
No, remember this Monday.
No, this Monday's a holiday.
That's right. So
you're
we're
right.
Do the following Monday.
The following Monday. So you guys make sure you go on DL Security and click on the flyer and reserve your seat.
Yeah, we got tissue there for you and everything.
Oh man,
it was chicken and tears.
That's a combination.
Grown men crying and everything. It was crazy. Make sure you log on. Make sure you log on to dlsecurity.org for all these upcoming and wonderful events.
Yes.
And make sure you click something on that website and register. Also, if you are registering for any classes for DL Security, Basic Self-Defense, or CPL, if you do not pay $10, you did not register properly. Okay, it takes $10 to hold your seat, and if you click on there and don't pay $10, you can't get in.
You gotta register. Listen, they are unorthodox, so they are not just lecture style. They are participatory. People are able to get involved, and they're actually able to do a lot of the training that's being taught that they'll see demonstrated by our chief instructor, which is my partner, and our assistant instructor, which is Lieutenant Nas O'Neill. So you're learning from the best. Everybody, each of us are from law enforcement, and we're not just at home making up these routines, trying to come out and teach them like there's some old school dance routine. This is actually skilled training that has been taken that we're imparting into you. So make sure you go register before seats fill up.
And also, if you're still looking for tickets for the Mighty Clouds of Joy comeback tour, which I am headlining. Just want y'all to know, last week we had somebody had canceled, and so we had one ticket, but they sold it. So all the tickets are sold out again.
20 seats.
Yeah, no, 25
seats.
Yeah, 25 seats. Somebody canceled, and we had, but somebody got it. So we good. So it's back full again. So I'm sorry. We may stream it on Facebook, but we're not sure.
It's gonna be a riot. So make sure.
One day, 1 hour.
One tour.
One tour.
One state.
One state. That's
one
it.
song.
One song.
That's it.
Rooftop.
Y'all go tell somebody my partner needs help. Listen, I'm so excited. You guys know that the Drop Zone is a platform that was created to aid and assist men, women, and children of domestic violence and sexual assault. So we work really hard to bring you great knowledge, great information, and skills and tools that you can use to help in your everyday survival. I'm just elated because coming up with us, our special guest, Miss Mary Polarsky, who's a diabetic educator or a diabetes educator, is going to be with us today, and she is standing by. Listen, she is a wealth of knowledge and information concerning this illness that is taking people out of here. So make sure you like and share and stay with us. We're going to shoot to some shout outs to our sponsors. So just stick around. We got great sponsors that help to hold us down every single week.
And listen, before we get to the sponsors, listen, if you're on my personal Facebook page, you're on my partner's personal Facebook page, listen, please, gentlemen, please, ladies, slide off. Sliding over to the Drop Zone Facebook page. Listen, this show today, you're going to want to be on the Drop Zone Facebook page.
Yes,
this show is going to be everybody. This show is going to be so good. Listen, today, I'm just going to give you real quick. Today, my partner, she's going to talk about her testimony about how diabetes took her sight. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned. Don't log off. We're going to pay some bills, if you will, say a few things, and then we're going to get into it. Okay? So with that being said, WCVG 102.3.
Yes.
Also, that's 102.3 FM. and 1320 AM, Kentucky, Cincinnati. We love you. Thank you for listening to the Drop Zone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. CityBuzzRadio.com, Phoenix, Arizona. Woo! Thank you so much for listening to the Drop Zone. Last but not least, listen, we on the way. RTN, we on the way. It's us, it's not them, but we on the way soon. Raymond Television Network, we coming to your face. We're going to be in your face. The Drop Zone going to be on TV.
On television.
What
so
you
that's
say?
Gonna be huge.
Listen,
how many people?
3.5 million all up in your face. Just all in it. Just in your face. The Drop
Giving you all this news, all
everything,
this information, all this comedy. All this talent.
Everything. All this performality. All this performality right here.
Giving it to you free. Giving it to you free. Yes, it's going to be awesome. What else we got over there, partner?
That was it.
I told y'all he's a performer. So listen, guys. Again, today is a very, very special Drop Zone show. We'll soon be joined by our other partner, comedian Malik Ali. Big shouts out to him. He's doing some big things, getting ready to open up his own comedy spot, his own comedy gig. So you guys stay tuned. He's going to give us more information on that a little bit later. But this has been a trying time.
Yes, it has been. So listen, viewers, make sure you like and share. The Drop Zone today is actually going to be on an extra 25 minutes. Yeah. So make sure you like and share. Make sure you let somebody know you can get off work and still tune in and catch a little bit. So it's been a lot going on in the world. So much back and forth, ups and down, roller coasters just everywhere. But we just thank God that God has stayed true, right? No matter what. No matter what, he stayed true.
Faithful.
So today, our topic is winning with diabetes.
Yes.
So for those of you who do not know, I'm also a diabetic. And my partner is also a diabetic. So I'm going to segue into this a little bit, and before we bring our guest on, just want to tell you why this topic and this particular show is so near and dear to our hearts, okay? So a short while back, as you know, we were all in law enforcement, and we were doing some training. So I sent my partner, Officer Shaw, to do this training, because I'm the deputy chief there in the city. So she was doing the training. Everything was going fine. She was doing good. No, not a big problem. And one day she called and she said, I had to get off of the range. Being a trainer and so forth and so on, I immediately thought she shot somebody or somebody shot her. I'm like, oh my God, what happened?
I'm just out here popping people.
Right. And she said, no, I couldn't see the target. I said, well, did you have your glasses on? Didn't think anything of it. I'm like, just could have been something, I can't hardly see. I, got the glasses, everything. Yeah. She said, I had on my glasses. I said, well, were they dirty? And she said, no, I cleaned them. She said, I could not see. I'm thinking, well, probably just need some new frames. Not a big deal. Go see a ophthalmologist or whatever. Get you some glasses. Going back to the range, finish up the training. Got another phone call over the next few days. She said that it was worse than that. I'm thinking you need bifocals, trifocals, something like that. Just get some glasses and get back on the range. That was what I was thinking about. And then when the phone went silent, I could tell she was crying, like she couldn't speak. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, what could be, like, seriously, what could be this bad? So now we're going to ask her and let her tell you what was that bad.
Well, man, I mean, you did good by telling it like it was. This was in February, as my partner said. We were on the gun range doing some training, and the sergeant told me, he said, Officer Shaw, shoot the target. And I could not shoot the target. And I'm on the range, and my other peer officers were shooting their targets, and I'm standing there with my weapon drawn and aimed, but I couldn't see, like literally.
Now, before you finish, let me give people a little bit of time frame.
Yes.
Before that Saturday, we were just on the range together. Myself, her, Lieutenant O'Neill, Field. We had a class, and that was just probably a week in between.
Maybe about a week in between.
A week in between. Yep. And when I tell you, she was throwing them down range like it was nothing. Yep. I mean, shooting right on the target, just right on it. No issues. All right, go ahead.
And so I'm there, and I'm in this special training class, and I cannot see this target. And the officer, the sergeant kept telling me, shoot the target. And you know, when you're in that type of training and they're yelling the commands at you, you need to do what's asked of you, what's being done. You have a loaded weapon in your hand, and you can't freeze. And so I kept telling him, I can't shoot the target, sir. I can't shoot the target because I couldn't see it. And he said, the target is 5 feet in front of you. I said, I don't see the target. So I had to get off the range, and the very next day, of course, I was disappointed. My team was surrounding me, and they were like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I can't see. I can't see it. And so I wound up going to the ophthalmologist, well, just a regular eye doctor, you know, just a walk-in eye doctor, make an appointment to try to get some glasses. And they, they test me, and the ophthalmologist said, I think you need to go and see the specialist. I'm going to call him right now. She called him while I was there, and they urgently got me in, and the paperwork she wrote up said severe. And I didn't understand all of the other language on there, but it said severe. And I asked her, I said, am I okay? Is everything okay? She says, I just want you to go and see my partner. I want him to take a look at you. And before we order you some glasses, I want him to take a look. And so I went, and when I went to the specialist, to my surprise and dismay, the specialist, he said to me, how do you feel? Now, mind you, I had driven to the eyeglass place, but everything was so foggy, I couldn't see. It was like I was looking through plexiglass.
Wow.
But when I got to the specialist said, how do you feel? And I said, I just can't see. I'm really nervous. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. And I said, what's going on? He says, you're losing your vision, and you're losing it at a rapid pace. So I had told him, what was going on with me or what have you. And so I asked him, I said, well, what do you mean I'm losing my vision? And he said, I'm trying to skip through this. So they had run some tests while we were there. So when we went in to look at the results of it or so forth, this is our conversation. And he said, we are going to have to start giving you injections in your eyes. And I said, well, what is this about? And he says, well, these injections are going to have to slow down the process of the damage that's occurring in your eye. There were negative blood vessels growing in the back of my eyes that were caused by diabetes, years of uncontrolled diabetes, and the blood vessels were bursting and hemorrhaging, and my eyes were filling up with blood, which was causing total blindness, which was causing me to go blind. So, partner, I went through a round of injections. He gave me one injection in my eye, which was the worst. But, and then my brother, who's a doctor in California, I got him involved, and he suggested that I immediately started to seek treatment at U of M.
Now, with that being said, DropZone family. So, mind you, you go all through life, right?
Yes.
And there's certain time in your life you lose sight in both of your eyes within a matter
30
of
days.
Weeks.
Yeah, 30 days.
Weeks, boom, blind. Nothing you knew about it, right? So, we said that to say, people who have diabetes, I remember when I first got diagnosed with diabetes, I was like, oh, that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, it ain't nothing. But uncontrolled diabetes will mess you up, and it will mess you up fast. That's why they call it the silent killer, because you never know what's going on in your body. You never know what's happening. I remember at one point, and I know this was so wrong, and I'm just going to say this, I thought that if my numbers were between 200, 220, that I was feeling fine, so it was good. But that's not the case. That's not the case. You shouldn't be running that high. Yeah. So I guess when that happened to you, like actually how, like what place were you in, like mentally, like where did that put you when the doctor was like, okay, Miss Shaw, you're blind?
It was just stunning. It stunned me because everything in my life changed because I was completely independent. And so your eyes are really the foresight of your life. So everything you pretty much do, you see it first and then you do it. So you're talking about in a matter of 30 days, I went completely blind, literally down to about 10% vision. I couldn't see my granddaughter's face. I couldn't see my partners. I couldn't see my friends and my loved ones, my family. I couldn't see them. I couldn't see their face at all. I can only see a silhouette, and barely could I see that. I couldn't drive. I couldn't walk through the house, by myself. I had to have someone with me 24 hours a day. This started at the beginning of February of this year. And by the end of February, I was completely blind and discussing major surgery. The doctors having to do major surgery. And so I couldn't cook for myself. I couldn't do my own laundry. I couldn't do anything. I became totally disabled. And at my age, it was life-altering. I went through a period of depression real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick. I couldn't see to manage my own money and manage my own accounts. And so I couldn't handle my own business, and I couldn't work. I couldn't run my company. As you guys know, I own a company. Everything had to come to a halt. I was working full-time at that moment as a personal protection agent for a site. I couldn't do any of that. I couldn't do my policing. It was life-changing. I couldn't even go to the house of worship unless someone came to get me. That's why I'm so glad I can reach him even at home.
I know, right? And I'm gonna tell you something. And the thing is with that also, and I know we are a show that tackles everything, definitely a variety show. Yes. But we got to keep it at the forefront. I got to go to church for about 10 seconds. Listen, during that time, she was completely had lost her sight. I needed somebody to come do praise and worship at the church. And I said, hey, look, you got to get a ride to the church. I said, because I need you to come sing.
Come anyway.
And she was like, I really haven't been singing. And I could hear depression in her voice. And I said, listen, have somebody come bring you to church. I need somebody to sing. I don't have nobody to sing. I need you to come sing. Long story short, she got there. And when I tell you, she sung like I had never heard her sing before. I said that to say to my church folk, she did not let that stop her praise. She did not let that stop her worship. And because of that, how many fingers I'm holding up?
2.
She couldn't see that. She couldn't see that before.
Yes, it's crazy because they told me I would have to get these injections for the rest of my life. I would have to get laser surgery for the rest of my life. They had scheduled me to come in twice a week for injections in my eyes. On April 27th, I underwent the first surgery I've ever had in my life, which was major eye surgery. What transpired, my retina had partially detached from my eye and torn. And there was so much blood there, and there was so much hardening around the retina from those negative blood vessels. the doctor at U of M sat down, and he is awesome. And he sat down and he talked with me and my caretaker, and he told us what needed to be done. And I was so nervous. I've never had a surgery in my life. And they took me in. We scheduled surgery. He gave me about a month to get things in order. And we went in and did the surgery April 27th. And I began to have anxiety on the bed. And the anesthesiologist came in and he said, he sat down and held my hand and he said, "It's going to be okay." He says, "It's going to be okay." He says, "I'm going to give you something to help calm you." And I said, "Well, how long till it comes? When is it coming?" Right. Because I'm freaking out. So they ordered it, and he said to me, he said, "Well, I've already put it in your IV." And he said, "Let me just tell you what's going to happen." He said, "When you get back there, all of the doctors are going to stand around the bed. Everybody that's going to play a part in your process, they're going to tell you what they're going to do." And he said, "The first person's going to be the doctor and the doc." And I don't remember anything else. I was gone. By the time I was waking up, they were putting me in the car. And they told me ahead of time, "You won't remember anything." And I clearly do not. It was a successful surgery.
Yes.
Successful surgery.
Yes.
I am able to, the first surgery was done on my left eye. So you guys saw me wearing sunglasses on the show a lot. And that's why, sometimes the light in the room was just too bright for me to bear, or I was just covering my eye. You saw me wear a patch on my eye. That was post-surgery, after surgery. But I almost have 100% vision back in my left eye.
Yeah.
Boy,
yeah. What
don't
you say
stop
now?
with me. Boy, don't play with me. I almost have 100% vision back in this eye. And I will be having my second surgery in July on the right eye. So they believe, and I believe because I know who my father is.
No, that's right.
I believe it will be successful as well.
Yes. Now listen, I mean to say this. So
I know what you get ready to say.
Here on the Drop Zone, we love to have fun, and we pick with each other.
Yeah.
About everything.
I know what this is.
But when I tell you, so she was blind. She was like gone, right? But when I tell you ever seen somebody who tried not to be blind?
I refuse to take it.
One time, she said she was on. I had called her about some stuff about the show, and she had another phone. She was talking. No, somebody was there at the house and whatever. And I don't know who she was talking to, but they were doing something live on Facebook or something. And she said, "Don't worry about it. I'll make sure I tune in and watch." You said what? What you say you was gonna do? You.
They have cracked jokes on me the whole time. This crew has helped keep me afloat, along with some others. Big shout out to those that have been in my corner. Listen, I got to give a big shout out to Pastor David Reed. I got to give a big shout out to Dunamis International Church. I love those guys there as well. And to my crew, to my partner, and to Nas O'Neill, and to all those that surround me, Malachi Lee, they wouldn't let me fall. Okay? They wouldn't let me fall. Listen, when it gets to the thick of it, and you get in the city, it's one thing to pray for somebody else that's going through it, but when it's your turn, you need people around you that just won't let you fall. They wouldn't let me get depressed. They kept, "Hey, what do you need? Hey, we coming over to the house. Hey, we're doing this." And to my best friend, Caleb Foster, and to his dad, Pop Foster, they held me down. You know who your real friends are when it all go down.
Yeah, that's right. And when I tell you, she took it like a champ. I promise you. We would get her a little stuff. She would be like, talking on the phone, be like, "Okay." She say, "Okay, I see you later." What you can say? What you gonna do? What?
I put my coat on backwards.
We was leaving the studio, and she put her coat on inside out. So Mal was like, he tapped me. He was like, "Should I tell her?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. Don't have her walking out looking like she crazy." He was like, "Hey, you put your coat on backwards." And she was like, "Oh, you know, and mind you, Pastor Reed was here with her, so he just let her put the coat on backwards. And so
you in trouble. So Malachi I said, thanks for not cracking a joke on me, Mal. And he said, yeah, I didn't want to throw something at you couldn't see. So it's just been one thing after another. But in celebrating and in victory,
yes.
Guess what I did, y'all? She still ain't happy. I drove yesterday. My son came over and I said, hey, I want you to get in the car with me. I just want to go around the block.
I wouldn't have gotten that car.
We went around the block. I just wanted to be able to see how well I can see in a safe zone. And so God is good. God is doing a thing in me. I'm telling you. And my praise is going to another level. My worship, my trust in God, my view of who God is all going to another level.
Until you drive that car, the doctor and release you.
He was with me. He was with me the whole time. So with that being said, I've been so happy my doctor has connected me with someone that knows this illness, that knows diabetes. And she and I speak every Monday, and she helps keep me together. She helps keep me together as well as my support system. Mm-hmm. My support system, those that are around me, David, both Davids, David Reed and David Wilborn, and my children, they help keep me sound, because sometimes, y'all, you just need a little help.
Listen,
you need a little help.
Diabetics, listen, like and share. If you know someone who's a diabetic, we're going to share some great information.
Yes.
Even when you thought you had diabetes like together, there are some things out here nowadays that can help you even manage it even better.
Yeah.
You know, so make sure, because I myself, I didn't go blind, but I was almost there. I had a small situation happen to me. I was at work, and I had, all of a sudden I was driving. I was in a squad car. I was driving, and I had got blurred vision in my right eye, and I just thought I was tired. I said, I'm tired. You know, I've been working a lot of hours. I'm just tired. I went home, went to sleep, whatever. The next day, woke up, it was still there. So I don't like nothing going wrong with me. So I immediately went to my ophthalmologist. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, let's take a look, you know. So he took a look in one eye. He said, I don't see nothing. You know, everything looks good. He took a look in the other eye. He said, no, I don't see nothing. He said, uh-oh. I said, what you mean, uh-oh? I said, I moved the thing back. You know how to put the thing over your eye? I said, what you mean, uh-oh? And he said, wait, I got to see.
Tell what happened to you.
And so here's the funny part, y'all. I promise you. Don't y'all laugh at me. So, you know, we was in the room, right? So the lights were on, you know, when he was, you know, doing this thing with the eyeglass, whatever. And then I had my eyes closed, you know, because, you know, when they blow that stuff and, you know, just, you know. So then he turned the lights down and dimmed them so he could look deeper. So when I opened my eyes, I thought I had lost everything. So I said, Lord God, Jesus, you know, he turned, he said, David, it's okay. I thought I had went blind in 10 seconds. Like I thought it was over with. I lost everything in 10 seconds. And I could see when I walked in, but all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. But anyway, so what do they call it? Retinopathy? Whatever.
Diabetic retinopathy.
Yeah, that happened to me, but I kind of caught it early enough to where mine corrected itself with proper diet. Mind you, my diabetes at that time was out of control. I didn't know about Dexcom and some other things that were going on. I didn't know about it. So I knew about insulin, but check this out. I didn't know about insulin management.
Oh my.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not just taking insulin when you high.
Yeah.
You got to do insulin management so when you eat, you don't go so high. So,
yes.
So both of us are winning with diabetes. We're winning with it. And so My partner, like I said, she was connected to this diabetes educator.
Yes.
And she's here with us today, and my partner's going to segue over to that part.
Yeah, and let me just say, we have two different forms of diabetes. Mm-hmm. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and my partner is a type 2. So I'm so glad.
I'm better than her.
I'm type 1. So I'm first.
Right.
No,
Yes.
listen,
Yes,
when
you
you
are.
argued over who
Right.
got the best diabetes. So we're going to bring her in. Thank you so much for waiting so patiently. Her name is Mary Polarsky, the beautiful Mary Polarsky.
Listen, stop you. I love that surgery. I want everyone to have it.
Yes. She has become more than just a help to me in managing. We call each other friend. And so she has teamed up with us to help keep me alive. That's how I look at it. And so, Mary, we thank you so much for joining us here on the Drop Zone. Can you just tell people just a little bit about what you do and your background?
Yes. Well, my background is, it all started, no, I'm kidding. I've been a nurse for over 30 years. I started, honestly, with helping children. I worked in pediatrics at Mott Children's Health Center, Mott Children's Hospital at UM.
Yes.
And then just continued to do that, started to work with women having babies, and then transitioned into women having babies with diabetes. And now I help all kinds of people with diabetes. So, David, are you pregnant, by the way, or do you just have type 2?
Did she ask me, was I pregnant?
See what a nurse I am? These are my
Did she ask me that?
She did. That was so funny.
I did.
Oh my
I
God,
did.
that
No,
was
I'm
good.
not. I'm not
You seem
pregnant.
like a
Last time I
groundbreaking
checked.
kind of guy.
Oh,
There are many
so that make
kinds of diabetes. Just want to be sure. Just want to be sure.
so they got man pregnant diabetes.
No.
Is that what they got? I like that. That's new. Where did that come out?
I bet you.
You would be a good candidate.
No, sir.
How you
No,
gonna tell
sir.
me?
You pregnant with purpose.
What? happened?
You're pregnant with
hear
purpose
how
and vision.
spiritual you are, and
Yes.
read the Bible, all kinds of things.
Thank you. I'm actually, it's not type 2 for me. It's like type 1.25.
Does that exist, Mary?
No.
Okay.
And neither
Well,
do pregnant diabetic
you know-
men.
You know what though? There is a combo version for those who dabble in both. There are people actually who have type 1 and type 2.
Really?
So, yeah, I can talk about it all. So I think, Felicia, how long again? About 15, 20 minutes?
Yes, go right
Or
ahead. We'll
5
be
minutes?
talking back and forth.
Okay, because I don't want to go over my time, and I don't want that hook thing to come out and pull me off either.
No, we're going to interject with you, so this is going to be great.
Okay. So here's what I want to say to start with. I've heard both of you refer to yourselves as diabetics. And honestly, I just want to say, let's just take the word right out of here. Okay, we're going to drop it right out of the drop zone.
Okay.
Not your Felicia, and I didn't know all that I do now. I thought you were already beautiful, but you are radiating.
Thank you.
I guess not radiating.
Thank you. Thank you.
And David,
Oh.
what a great deal of respect I have for you, and you're funny. Both you are funny. You are at least I know Felicia is a parent. Did you say grandmother too?
I am.
Oh my girl, you are way too young.
Yeah,
But-
I take it.
But so beautiful. So what I see and what I know of you from our work together is you are a beautiful person who's very independent, very alive, and very much about God's hands and helping people.
Yes.
So, and I heard how David started too, and again, yeah, we got a lot of work to do in our world, but who's doing it? You are. Right?
Yes.
And we're all helping take that baton. So let's just put that diabetic thing away. That's just an ugly word. I'm just going to say you are David and Felicia, and you have diabetes. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So what's the goal here? Let's keep it just as that. Your son, from what I've heard both of you say, is God. So let's keep diabetes just one of the moons of one of the planets that's rotating around.
Yes.
That's what I say to anybody who has this disease. And so now kind of just going into what is this disease exactly, because both mentioned there are different kinds. And I threw gestational diabetes in there, and David had a really good time with that. But there's also pre-diabetes, which is kind of neither. Pre-diabetes, though, has more to do with type 2 diabetes. So just to kind of go along with that, pre-diabetes means you're on the road, but you're not all the way there. And one thing I want to touch on again that David already brought up is this is a sneaky thing. You don't know it till you have it, right? And once you have symptoms, blurry vision, maybe you're in the hospital because your stomach's not just kind of upset, but you're really sick. Maybe you're noticing, boy, I don't have feeling in my feet, and they used to kill me all the time. I don't feel at all, right?
Oh, wow.
Maybe loss of balance, lots of things can affect diabetes, but once you notice those symptoms, you're pretty well along the way. So we want to catch things, nip them in the bud. It's diagnosed by blood tests. So the best thing you can do is go to the doctor. Don't wait till this is a diagnosis of prevention. So what I'd like to help people do is not get to the point where they're needing to have, and let me tell you, Felicia just sort of mentions this surgery like, oh yeah, I got through it. It was hard for her.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what.
It was.
Having the surgery was scary. Needing the surgery really scary, but the healing process ain't so fun.
Yeah. That was not fun.
Right. So we just kind of don't want to go there. So again, if you go to the doctor and get some tests, you can. Pre-diabetes, again, not even knowing it, but I'll tell you this, and I just looked this statistic up so I could be more in like the 2022 range here. 96 million Americans have pre-diabetes.
Wow.
Diabetes and pre-diabetes, they were an epidemic way before coronavirus was a pandemic, right? They got that one hands down. So that means 1 out of 3 people, so there are 3 of us here.
Yeah.
And know you, I could tell you 1 out of 3 of us have pre-diabetes. The 1 out of 3 people you talk to, pre-diabetes. And of those people, if you put all those people in a line that have it, 9 out of 10 people don't know.
Wow. Don't know they have it.
That is correct. 9 out of 10 people with pre-diabetes don't. Okay.
So what's the danger in, what can ultimately be the danger in not knowing that you have it?
Die.
What is the danger? That you're on the road to diabetes.
You're on the road to diabetes, but
yes, pre-diabetes means you're on the road to diabetes. And if you don't make some changes, you're going to be there.
Yeah.
And diabetes, that's where it's happening. So again, it's about how much sugar is in your blood and how many problems that's causing. So just to finish this thought, and then I'm going to answer your question.
Yes.
37.3 million people have diabetes.
What's that number again?
Cross threshold, 37.3 million. So that's about 1 out of every 11 people. So you go to the grocery store, I'm telling you, you're surrounded
by people with diabetes.
I'm telling you, there are more than 11 people in the grocery store, right?
Wow.
Go get gas, probably encountering people with diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Out of if you have 11 people and one of them out of 11 have it, if you took all those people and put them in a line, 1 of 4 or a fourth of those people don't know they have diabetes. So you're asking me, what's the problem with having pre-diabetes and not knowing it while you're heading to diabetes? What's the problem with having diabetes and not knowing it? The problem is you can lose your vision, right?
Yep.
Have a heart attack. You can have a stroke.
Lose limbs.
Right? Lose your kidneys. You can lose your limbs. Mm-hmm. But this is something else that David did not know how smart he was. He really could have done. You and he could have done this, but you were gracious enough to ask me. But I heard David say it isn't diabetes, and I've been a nurse for well over 30 years. Yes, these are natural highlights. They used to call them gray hair, but I call them. But yeah, I'm old. Never, ever in my entire nursing career have I ever, nor will I ever encounter anyone who has died from diabetes. But people do die, lose their vision, lose their kidneys from complications of unmanaged diabetes.
Yeah,
okay?
That's a good word.
So why does it matter if you have pre-diabetes? Because you're heading to diabetes. Why does it matter if you have diabetes and don't know? Well, you treat your body like a rental unit, it's gonna come back and get you.
Wow.
And it could be too late. Now, again, praise God that David had the foresight. There's one of your jokes. I didn't even plan that. Just imagine.
Yeah.
Foresight to get to that eye doctor because he started to see some problems. Felicia, again, you didn't wait. You went, let's do something. You nip things in the bud, it's a lot easier to fix. That's why you want to know. So, how do you know? What kind of blood tests do they do? You probably heard the term hemoglobin A1C, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't, anybody listening, know what that is, because when you go to the doctor, they're doing tests. Know what your doctor's doing. Because I also heard Felicia in her wisdom use the word team. And it is. Healthcare providers, we don't have Dr. God here. God gives the doctors wisdom, right?
That's right.
Your doctors, your nurses, OTs, PTs, anybody who's helping you, dietitians, we're all part of the team. Who's the manager of the team? You. It's your body. Who cares more about you than you, right?
That's right.
So ask questions. Don't be afraid. But how do you know what to ask if you don't know? So I'm going to tell you. Hemoglobin A1C. Hemoglobin is that part of your red blood cell that carries oxygen. It goes to every one of your cells. Why? Because you need oxygen, right? Who doesn't know that? Since it's going there anyway, the sugar in your blood's like, hey, can I jump in your Uber, right? I used to say cab, but now nobody knows what that is anymore. So we're call it Uber.
Yeah.
I can in the Uber too. We'll share the cost. But you're going to every cell anyway, and I've got to go there too. Why? Because you need energy to live. And sugar is what gives your cells energy so that you can live.
Yeah.
So the blood, the hemoglobin being as nice as it always is, says, sure, come on in. So if you have a little bit of sugar going with the hemoglobin on the red blood cell, it's all good. But if you have too much, now you've just crowded that hemoglobin off. So pretend, for instance, let's say this is your hemoglobin, okay? And you got a couple oxygen on there. See these guys here, they're carrying that oxygen. They're going to the blood cell.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the sugar says, can we come along too?
She got props.
So now, do you like the prop? Hey, I used
Yes.
to do theater. Gotta have props. But
This
now
is good.
you got this, right? All the sugar, and it's kind of like crowding that hemoglobin right off, right? And it's barely getting to the cell. Well, what happens if you don't have oxygen? You're tired.
Wow.
Okay? That's why one of the signs for people with diabetes or people that have diabetes will say, man, I feel so fatigued. I'm very tired all the time. Because they don't have oxygen because so much sugar is there. So the hemoglobin A1C is a test to see what percent of that red blood cell is got sugar in it. If it's low, if it's below 5.7%, that's normal. That's healthy. 5.7 to 6.4%, that's that pre-diabetes range.
Yeah.
And over 6.5%, that's way too much sugar crowding out that oxygen and then hemoglobin. That's diabetes.
This is really good.
Yeah.
That's what the whole show is about. So why do you need to know if you have prediabetes? Because you don't feel it. With prediabetes, you're not feeling very fatigued. You're just living life.
Yeah.
And it's so slow. I'm not talking this happens overnight. Like, Lisa, that really amazed me to hear how fast your vision went.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a way, honestly, God is good because that gave you time to act quickly.
Yep. It did.
You know?
It really did.
But normally this is slow. I'm talking years. In fact, if I were to show you a graph, and this is years and years and years. Let's see, where's my other little prop here? By the time you're diagnosed with diabetes, you're well on the way. So if you can see this, see if I can see.
Yeah.
Can you see that very well?
Yes, ma'am.
Right there.
Right there.
Right there.
All
there
right.
you go.
Okay. So here you go. This person right here, that's normal blood sugar. And then this is showing different things, but I'm just going to say it'll show you your blood sugars are going up, up, up.
Like a Dexcom.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there you go. We'll talk about that. And then boom, your body is just too tired to take care of it. So here your body's working hard. I'm going to fight it. I'm going to fight it. I'm going to fight it. I'm tired. Now look at
drops.
these right here.
Wow.
That's when you're diagnosed with diabetes.
Yeah.
Your body's already kind of sliding down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you can't cure people from diabetes, but you can slow that train. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what you can do. That's why it's important to take care of yourself. This is a diagnosis of prevention. So remember that. You want to prevent those problems. How? By managing. So how can you do that?
So before you get into the management, I know that we put this flyer out to let people know you would be with us today. So we want to check in every now and then to see if anyone has any questions.
Yes.
As well, because when you go to diabetic management, that's going to be that point in time where our viewers and our listeners need to go ahead and grab a pen and paper. So we're going to give you a chance. She's going to hit that in a moment, and you guys grab your pen and paper. But we're going to see if there are any questions on the floor.
Yes, we got a couple questions, Miss Mary. So they got straight to the point. So one, what can we do to get blood sugar down immediately if it shoots up really high?
Excellent question. And the next thing I'm going to talk about, it's going to make even more sense. Very good question. Exercise helps manage those sugars in your blood. Get up and get moving. Get off the couch. Don't be watching the TV, and don't be saying, Alexa, turn on my TV. Turn the damn thing on yourself. Right? And don't be saying, Alexa, call Hug Grubber, wherever my kids call. Tell Burger King to be delivering my whatever it is. No, you get up and you walk over.
Yes.
And you do your thing. The other thing, now I will say there's one piece to that. If your blood sugar is dangerously high, and the only way you would know that is if you wore, for instance, like David said, a monitor that can tell you what your blood sugar is, or if you're poking your finger. Mm-hmm. If it's dangerously high, I'm talking like 250 to 300, I want you to be talking to the doctor.
Yeah.
But if it's below that and it's high, or if you don't have a meter and you don't know, you get off the couch and you get moving.
Okay, hold on, Miss Mary. I need you to pause right there for 1 second.
A lot of water.
Miss Mary, I need you to pause for one second. So, what is in diabetes management?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What is a okay number for diabetics? Like what range should a diabetic be in versus a person that's non-diabetic?
Okay, David, I'm going to call you back. A person who has diabetes.
Right.
People are bigger than this diagnosis. I had a patient tell me that. I was teaching a class, And he said, you know what? I always remember I'm bigger than this food I'm looking at on my plate. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to use that. So what numbers? Excellent question. If it's before you eat during the day, that means in the morning before breakfast, or even between meals, we would like the number to be between 80 and 130. Okay?
That's called fasting.
Correct. Thank you, Felicia. Actually, technically, fasting means you haven't had anything to eat or drink except water. It's okay, for at least 8 hours. So a fasting blood sugar is that one in the morning before breakfast. And just fun fact, that's where the word breakfast from. You're breaking your fast, right? So breakfast, first meal of the day, whatever it is. And that's where people get really hung up. They think, oh, I have to eat 3 meals a day because that's what my grandma said. And I have to finish what's on my plate because people are starving and wherever they're starving. Sad thing is, I wish the food on your plate could get over to wherever they're starving, and it isn't. So for you just to keep piling in isn't helping anybody. It's just going to give you some problem.
Yes.
But the other thing is that, before you've eaten in the morning, that's the only time it's a true fasting. But between meals even, before you're going to eat the next meal, we'd like you to start around 1:30 or less.
Okay. Is that lunch?
Hours. Well, again, call it what you want. Right?
Okay.
The healthiest people are those grazers. They graze through the day. Now, I'm not talking the people that are in the grocery store getting every sample because, it doesn't count. It's a sample. Oh, well, it does. They all
Stop
count.
eating the samples, David.
Stop eating all those samples. Don't be eating those samples.
Sam's Club.
Go home, make a healthy meal. Don't be like grazing through the store for your dinner. But still, no. People who eat a little bit all day long are healthier than those people that need those 3 meals. So whether you call it breakfast, lunch, dinner, doesn't matter. But before any of your bigger meals, you want to start at a healthy jumping place. So if your blood sugar is about 130 and you eat, it's just going to do a little bump.
Yep.
Now, when do we worry? This is the other side. After you eat, you never want it greater than 180.
180.
Oh, okay.
Right. So what happens if you're 179 before you ate? And then you eat? First, it's going over 180, right?
Wow.
So the goal is let's start at a healthy level. So you just got a little bump.
Yep.
So that's the plan. So if you are checking your blood sugars, those are the numbers that we're looking for.
Okay.
So you said after you eat, you should be at 180?
Yeah, because I'll tell you, if you really want to get into this, they found that blood sugars that are consistently for a year over 180, that's when you start to see problems with those vital organs like your kidneys, your eyes, right, like your heart.
Yes.
So you can keep it under 180. And the new term, David, who's talking about these Dexcoms and these continuous glucose monitors. You've seen the commercials on TV with the butterfly, the Freestyle Libre.
Right.
Those are nice because they can be all day long. So the newest term is time in range.
Say that again. Time and range.
Time in range. You never want your blood sugar lower than 70, and you never want it higher than 180. So if you can kind of fly through the day, in that kind of fun term, they call it linear or something.
Yes.
That's narrow time in range. You want to fly through your day like an airplane. You eat some healthy food, your blood sugar goes up a little bit, but then it comes down. You're active, and a little bit you're active. If you fly through the day like this, that's a good day. But if you chow down, blood sugar shoots way up, and then what happens? It crashes.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. When you overdo the Chinese dinner or freaking and you're like, oh, I gotta go, and then all of a sudden you're exhausted.
So let me ask you, after every meal, should you do some exercise, walk, or move about?
Just squat it, like 1 or 2 squats.
1 or 2.
Like anything. Yes. The goal, and this is the gold standard, right? This is like priests. We're all supposed to be like Jesus, but none of us will all the way get there, right? But you're aiming. The goal is about 150 minutes a week. Weeks, that sounds like a lot. But if you break it down to pieces, that's about 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. And the beauty of that is it doesn't have to be all at once. It's additive. It's like those samples at the grocery store, David. I'm sorry, but she called you out.
We got new goals now.
Okay, listen, so Ms. Bray, let me ask you the question though, real quick. Is coffee bad for diabetics?
What a great question. Coffee has no calories. It has no carbohydrate. And in a second, I can kind of hit on that. But the carbohydrates are what raise your blood sugar. They're in foods like grains, fruit, milk, and ice cream, carbohydrates. And then some of the starchy vegetables, corn, peas, potatoes, and then those kind of beans like the lima beans, the kidney beans, the black beans.
So coffee is good.
They have carbohydrates. Those will raise blood sugar. Coffee doesn't. But
there's a but.
So what happens?
I don't need no more. I don't need no more. All I need to know is
David, my new friend, David.
You said it. She said it. All right, the show is over. We're done. Thank you for joining the Drop Zone.
He just want to get away with that coffee.
He wants to get away with it, but see, here's what people need to hear, because you're not the only coffee drinker. We're in the United States of America.
Yeah,
right?
everybody loves coffee.
Everybody drinks coffee.
Everybody loves
One thing, it's what you put in it.
Yeah.
Right? So you go to Starbucks and get, I don't know if I can say words, but you go to a place where they make coffee. And they give you the deluxe Oompa Loompa Chocolate Oompa whatever thing. All that stuff putting in, there's a lot of sugar probably in there. Number two,
so all I do,
and it gets cream.
I do cream and then the sugar substitute. That's it.
Okay, sugars, yay. When you say cream, is it the creamer? Like French vanilla, hazelnut, or?
Hazelnut.
How many?
Friend, look on the label and you tell me. You tell me.
Coffee.
You do a large coffee with 4 hazelnuts.
With
4 hazelnuts.
And a half hazelnut.
With 5 hazelnuts.
The little cup thing?
Right, the real little bitty ones, the small ones,
which is like
this big.
2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons.
3 tablespoons of those. I'm gonna say that's probably a carb and a half to 2.
Which is nothing, right? Which is nothing.
But David, I gotta finish. It's great information for you, because knowledge is power, and I want you to make your own choices, because the insulin police are not going to be showing up at your house, and neither are the diabetes police. Take care of yourself. Your liver is the only organ in your body that can actually make sugar. What? Yes, it can.
I knew that. I did.
It can. And it also stores sugar. So, like when you eat and you have some leftovers, you put them in those little Rubbermaid or whatever, those Tupperware things, stick them in your fridge. Well, your liver is kind of that. It stores all those Tupperwares from the whole pizza that you ate. That you ate a whole pizza because you really did just sit on the couch. Your liver's going to store what you didn't need to just do this with the TV controller, right?
Oh, wow.
So your liver, when it thinks you're starving or when it thinks you need a lot of energy, is going to dump all those storage little Tupperwares of sugar. So caffeine gets your heart racing, gets your body going, and you're like, wow, I need energy. I have energy. I don't know what to do.
Then
so
it
your liver says, hey, I'm going to give you some sugar because I got some stored from that whole pizza that you ate yesterday that you didn't need the whole pizza. So caffeine alone, even without your hazelnuts, can raise your blood sugar. But
you don't want to hear that.
As in all, I know David's not my friend, but David, I love you. I gotta tell you. But here's the deal: it affects people differently. Some people not so much. So it sounds like, do you have a Dexcom?
I do.
Well, then you tell me.
We're Dexcom twins.
Look at that. See that,
So
friends? That's some good stuff. Hey, I don't wish diabetes on anyone, but this is a good time if you have to have diabetes because we have so much more that can help people. It used to be a day later, you go to the bathroom and test your urine out of a cup, and that's a day too late.
That's no fun.
Now you know not only what your blood sugar is, now you know where you're headed. Mm-hmm. So, David, you tell me, you try your coffee. You tell me, what does that do to your blood sugar?
Nothing.
Swear in the Dexcom because it's true.
It does nothing. It's fine.
So cute. It's fine.
Yeah, it does nothing. Are we getting ready to leave?
Why he don't want? He doesn't want to talk. He in trouble. He felt like a little kid that got sent to the corner.
You know what? I'm just.
He wanted his coffee.
You know what you can.
Okay. So let me ask you this.
You can have your coffee. Look at your Dexcom. See how
right.
much
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And see how much, right? It's in moderation.
Right. So what foods should we just stay away from? Just horrible. Just no matter what your blood sugar is, just stay away from it.
I love this question. You're gonna
before you answer, Mary. Before you answer, because I know that's going to be really good about these foods. That's the main thing. But we're going to get ready to wrap up just shortly. But give us a couple of those foods and then tell us how people can stay on top of diabetic management. Where can they go and find information?
Yes. Okay. The answer is there are no foods you can't.
Ooh, say that again.
That's it. Shut it down.
I'm going to say that again. I've been wanting to say this. There are no foods you cannot have. The only thing that I would tell you I never ever want you to have would be crack cocaine and heroin.
Come on here.
That's good. You're talking good now, Mary.
There are no foods. There are foods that are better for you and foods that are not so good. So I'm going to tell you this really quickly. Pop and juice are basically pre-digested sugar. It's like an IV, right? Okay. That's going to shoot your blood sugar up. No digestion required. Don't recommend that. But if you really want some, I'm going to say it's all about portion size. It's all about moderation. And it's all about pairing proteins with carbohydrates. That's going to help.
Yes.
But mindful eating is something that I want everybody to be thinking about.
That's good.
I want you to retrain yourself, because when you're babies, you eat because you're hungry. Then we watch TV and we reprogram ourselves, and now we eat because we're stressed.
Yeah.
Or we eat because it looked good on TV or whatever. Think about, am I hungry? If you are, eat. Eat slowly. It takes 20 minutes for your body to register that you feel full. So if you're on the third round of that buffet bar and it's been 5 minutes, you're going to overeat. You won't even notice it till you feel like, I call it Frankenmuth flow, where you're like, oh my gosh, I feel okay. No, slow down. Put your fork down in between. Think about it. Mindfully eat. Here's what I want to say about those foods you think you can't have. If there's something you think you shouldn't have, really enjoy the first bite. And I'm talking, and we do an exercise in class I teach where I tell them, put it on your tongue, leave it there. First of all, look at the food, then leave it on your tongue. Smell it, taste it, feel it melt. Savor that.
Yeah.
Then swallow it.
There you go.
Then do it again. If you're going to eat something you think you shouldn't, for God's sakes, enjoy it. Don't
right. That's exactly.
Really enjoy that last
She
bite.
need to come back on the show.
All the bites in between.
Now, Mary, let me, because you and I talked about this. What a lot of people don't know are our diabetics that like to consume alcohol should know that if you're having a glass of wine with your meal, that wine will cause your blood sugar to drop.
It will, because your liver, like I said, your liver is a pretty remarkable organ. Respect your liver, everybody. It does more than just store and make sugar, but it also detoxifies your body. Your liver gets so busy with that, it forgets that it's supposed to also give you some sugar when you need it.
Yeah.
A low blood sugar. So if you're going to have anything to drink, I want you to have a snack. When I say snack, let's just redefine that. That means protein and carbohydrate. So some kind of meat or cheese or nuts. They always have nuts and pretzels at the bar, right? So put your nuts and pretzels.
There you go. Stay away from them bar
And
wings.
especially if you have type 1 diabetes, which you're right, Felicia and David,
Yeah.
that's a very different thing. Felicia's pancreas is broken, doesn't make any insulin. David's pancreas is making insulin, but his cells are like, the lock is gummed. Okay, the lock's broken. The insulin is the thing that opens the door to let the sugar in.
Yeah.
Felicia doesn't have any keys to open the door. David has plenty of keys or insulin, but can't get it in the lock.
My diabetes is better than hers, right?
But no, there's none of it. But it's about insulin resistance. But both of them mean you're not getting sugar in the cell. So you need sugar. If you're going to drink, whether it's type 1 or type 2, first of all, tell your friends you have diabetes. You should wear a diabetes ID if you're taking insulin. And definitely eat something and watch those blood sugars about 1-2 hours later.
That's
but interestingly, David, before you even ask me, alcohol, hard liquor, nor wine do not raise your blood sugar. Beer will a little bit.
I don't
but
drink
it's
anyway.
the mixers you put in.
Yeah.
I've heard some endocrinologists say a pina colada has more calories than a Big Mac.
Oh Lord, my feelings hurt. No, I'm just kidding. But
So if you're gonna have a pina colada, really enjoy it.
Really, okay, let it sit on your tongue. Listen, we've got to wrap up the show, but you've given us so much information. In about 2 minutes, can you let the people know where they can go and find more information on diabetics and diabetes management?
The best advice I can give you is just type in ADA on whatever your search browser engine thing is. I'm not a techie, but American Diabetes Association, best information ever. The other thing, the CDC.
The CDC.
That is, anybody can post anything. So if they tell your friends, or it's on Facebook, that your friend's cousin's cat ate a hairball and ate cinnamon and all that, and it cured their diabetes, no.
Yes.
No. ADA, CDC, look there. But just remember, balance is what it's about. Balance exercise with eating, with stress control. Insight Timer, I just want to give a shout out to that. It's a free app. Wonderful. All kinds, over 50,000 choices. Balance those. See your doctor, get your checkups, and look things up in the ADA.
Yes.
So when you go to the doctor, you have something to talk about.
Good stuff. Mary, listen, you've been talking diabetes with Mary Polarsky, Nurse Mary Polarsky. Thank you so much for joining us today here on the Drop Zone. Thank you for what you're doing in our communities, and thank you for what you're doing in my life. I really appreciate you. She's my sister from another mother now, so, I'm so glad.
I am.
So glad to have you. Mary, we'll definitely have you back because we have several questions that have come in. We may have to forward those to you and then put those answers on our website for the community. Okay. Listen, you guys have been tuned in to the Drop Zone. Meet us back here, same place, same time. You've been talking winning with diabetes with Nurse Mary Polarsky, diabetic educator. This is my partner, Dave Wilborn, Mr. Ouye himself, and I am your special host. I'm Felicia Shaw. Listen, and I'm just glad to be here. Guess what? I will see you all real soon, and we'll talk later. Have a great day, everybody.
I will see you Monday.
You have just tuned into the Drop Zone. Drop Zone.
With your host, Felicia Shaw, owner and CEO of the Support Room, and David Wilborn, owner and CEO of D&L Security. Hunker down and get ready for a great drop.